Hi there, I'm Dr. Veronica Ent, and with great honor, I've been asked to speak a little bit about my grandfather, Major General Uzal G. Ent. My father was Gerard Ent, his only son. We live outside of Pittsburgh, about 35 miles east of the town, on a farm where my parents felt that it was best to raise the children. I still live on this farm now with my husband. Uzal Giant was a common story in the family. We heard about him in many different ways, but some of the stories that mean the most were about the character. Now I know in this class or this program you will learn about his history. He started in World War I as a private, entering straight in as early as young as he could, and worked his way up to lieutenant and worked into the area of balloon piloting. In preparation for World War I, my grandfather was active in the balloon force. This was an idea in which they could use balloons to help track the enemy movements. During one of the exercises for piloting balloons, him and his partner were struck by lightning. Unfortunately, the man had passed, but through his saving of him during this exercise, he was awarded. Like the remarkable story of saving his partner in the balloon, there are many other instances in which Uzal Giat was so instrumental in helping and building forward success in the military and in our country's history. After successfully graduating from West Point, my grandfather entered into the military for World War II as an officer. During his time, he was very prominent in his work in Peru, preparing troops and working with leaders. Uzal G worked hard in building relations, actually solving a dispute between two leaders simply by having conversations with them. He was genuine and trusted, and those two main components of his personality led to much of his success. He had a very mechanical mind as well as a very creative mind. And those two being put together made an individual that was very successful in working with troops, preparing them for working with for the raids that were going to occur in Germany, and also for the final act in World War II to solve the issues with Japan. Uzal Giant was more than just a fighter, was more than just a military leader. He was someone who cared about others. I remember many times stories being told to us of how Uzal G would maybe find a private or someone of a lower level in their career and help build them become successful. He became a Lutheran minister as well as a man that studied law throughout his years. In addition to many of the accomplishments that you'll probably learn about in this program, Uzal Giant would often help others. There were times where we were told when he would bring private home for the holidays or help someone who was in lower ranks become more successful. The stories go on and on about his kindness, his genuine personality, and his desire to help others. He would listen deeply to people. You would tell them their concerns or your issues, and he would work very hard to help provide solutions or offer you support. While he had a very charismatic personality that everyone seemed to like, and he did have a little bit of a temper, but it was always passionate for the right and to help the ones that are less fortunate. When the war ended, Uzal Giant was injured. This happened while flying with a young pilot, which caused an accident that damaged and made him paralyzed. He never blamed that pilot for that error. And so Uzal continued even after that paralyzing final act of his life. He was told he could not walk. He would not walk. In the last couple years, he designed his own walking devices for paraplegics. He went and he researched how he could make something that would help him walk, that would let him be seen as a functioning individual in society. He would let doctors learn things about him using the fact that he was paralyzed. And through these advancements, they're still being used today, some of these devices. He also believed in veterans. He believed in helping those that were injured in war or serving this country. He purchased property in Colorado, which was his dream to make housing for veterans. While that did not happen while he was alive, he had all the hopes to do so. Uzal G was actually considered as a candidate to run for president. The accident, of course, prevented that from happening. He was very well liked and very, very much respected. Thank you for giving me the time to speak a little bit about him to you, and I hope that you enjoyed this program. And you will learn, as I had learned through the year, that it was more than just the general. He was a person of conviction, he was humble, and he cared about others.